This is Twit. So let's talk a little bit about, I saw this announcement. Stuff. I don't know what it is. Project xCloud. What is that? I bet you Mary Jo Foley could tell us.
I can, actually. This is the game streaming service from Microsoft.
Oh, I guess Paul Thurrott could probably tell us. Oh, no, he's drinking.
Well,
no, I want to hear this.
It runs on Azure.
See, that's why it's Azure.
The only reason I care about this in the least is this is a new big workload on Azure. It's how Microsoft's going to stream games to multi-devices, starting with Android.
What? That's how you lead on the Xbox story? It's going to be a workload on Azure? That's your version of
That's the story, Morning Glory.
That's the only reason I care. And that's the only reason Microsoft cares, by the way.
Oh, man.
It's an enterprise company, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I know. Just drive that stake in further. Open the window so the sun comes in. It'll be the end of me.
No, so it's exciting because this is finally starting to happen. I was looking when we first were writing about this a couple of years ago, right? When they started teasing it originally. Right. Last fall, they said we're starting to test it internally. It's running, some of it is running in our Quincy, Washington data centers already. So yeah, right. Here it comes. That's all you need to know.
No, that's not all you need to know. There's a little bit more.
Okay, do tell.
So you can sign up now for the public beta, which will start in October. The first version of the first release will be Android only, meaning obviously you need an Android phone to do it.
That's weird. Really?
Yeah. I mean, eventually it's going to be obviously completely heterogeneous, right? It's going to be different device types. And I think this probably just has to do with whatever, you have to have some kind of client software to make this happen. I assume you'll use it usually with a Xbox controller over Bluetooth. And they're picking people. So you fill out a very short form. It's basically name, email address, what kind of phone do you have, what's your mobile service, and they'll get back to you. So when I signed up,
sign up, right?
With the OnePlus. Yeah, you definitely should. Definitely.
Because I have an Android phone, so I could.
Yep. And I knew someday, Mary Jo, I know we're going to get you on Xbox.
And you know what? I could like clock latency levels, and do some big things like that.
I feel like you're just not really coming at this from the right direction, but okay.
I know there are games too, but who cares about those? Yep. I mean, I care about the service, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually, why is Microsoft doing this if not to show off the power
Azure
of the xCloud?
Yep.
Right?
Azure. They're doing it for Azure, guys.
Well, the power of the Xbox service, which does run on Azure. Yes. I'll talk a little bit about why they're doing this a little bit later, maybe. Let me think about that. Yeah, because we have an Xbox thing coming up at the end as usual, and what this ties into is just how the business has done historically, and why this will make so much more sense for Microsoft when the Xbox business essentially is a service and not reliant on hardware sales.
Right. And I can throw in a couple code names, by the way. This isn't Microsoft's first game streaming rodeo. Remember Project Rio? That was a game streaming service they attempted and showed off, I think, at one of the company meetings. And then there was Arcadia, another time when they were showing off a game streaming service. Neither ever came to market.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm not sure I knew about either one of those.
You knew Arcadia.
Yeah, I think we talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Arcadia is from 2014. Yep.
But,
third time's the charm.
Well, the time wasn't right. I don't think it's Microsoft's fault. I don't think the timing was good, was it?
No, and also the cloud has evolved a lot since then.
Yes.
That's right.
And that's why Google and Microsoft and Sony and
everybody,
all other people
really,
are doing
all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Google Stadia will probably be coming out even sooner, I would think. I don't know. We'll see. October 15th, is there a big event?
I thought for some reason I thought that was coming out in November, but maybe I'm...
Well, they might say October 15th. November 1st, you could play.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I don't remember because there was a Stadia Founders Edition pre-sale that I thought was for November, but it doesn't super matter. Okay. I mean, look, video gaming is a bigger industry than movie making in Hollywood. It's huge, right? So the problem is, to date, to get into this business, you had to do what Microsoft did, which is you come from behind, you start making hardware, you lose a lot of money, and you kind of build up the relationships, get the game studios going, get developers on board. It's a huge investment. Obviously, some of that work still has to happen. We have only a service, but when you can cut out the hardware R&D, I mean, it's a completely different situation. So it's not surprising that all the major cloud players and game makers are going to be involved in some way as this thing switches over to service. So
cool.
We shall see.
Mm-hmm.